Okay, we can probably go live. Hello? Oh, it actually instantly worked. Oh, okay. I'm actually 1 minute early, so everyone should praise me for being super punctual.
Hell yeah.
Yes, the stream was delayed an hour and a half, but that doesn't matter. It's still
And you know,
technically early.
and the extra half hour was, well, really all of it was my fault, so.
Yeah, but it's fine. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry, guys. It's totally fine. Loboto will be summarily executed in town square tomorrow. This cannot be allowed to happen again, ever.
Oh man.
That is a jokey joke. That is a Joker joke. As a Joker from the
This is
fucking
a
AI
Joker
comic
joke.
would say. Hmm. Welcome back to Awful Hospital, everyone. This is the hospital that is not quite very good. It gets a low star review from me. Kind of some
Although whether
sanitation
or not
issues.
Fern is actually in it right, although really whether or not Fern is actually in the hospital right now is somewhat debatable.
If she's in her corpse that's in the hospital, then she's kind of like ostensibly in the hospital, like by proxy. But
Yeah, I know.
that would be like saying someone is on the earth when you actually mean to say they're in, like, I don't know, New York City. Anyway, we have returned to read more of the webcomic, and I don't really know if this needs much of an introduction. You should watch the previous live streams if you are confused at all.
And if you really think that you can understand this without doing so, good fucking luck, man.
Yeah, I challenge you, actually. You might as well try. I think it would be funny. Okay. So we just had staff join the party with Celia and Fern. Hey, Celia, this is, Dr. Psst.
Celia, little wee Celia, goodness, it's been half a spiraling. Are you still taking your starch? I, er, yes. Oh, you didn't tell me you were acquainted with the square wee thief princess. I'm sure you've kept her out of trouble.
Say, Celia, what say we circulate some of that money you found into this fine local economy?
Er,
Go shopping. The interior of the town store is dominated by a huge fungal growth cluttered with objects. Few of them look like anything that has any business inside your corpse, and some of them are disturbingly out of scale. Most of them do not look particularly useful, but you never know.
Welcome, welcome. I've got goods for across the documented range and beyond. Don't be shy if you see anything you like. Satisfaction guaranteed or no money back.
300th page fan art gallery. What are you...
I feel like that one's probably a reference to something, but I don't know what.
Yeah, I probably. I can hardly believe we're up to 300 pages and almost 9 months along. It feels like I only started this series a few weeks ago, back when I wasn't sure how much anybody would even enjoy it, and kept my big ideas on the back burner until I was really sure it would be worthwhile. My original estimate that it might take us around a year to end the series? Yeah, never mind. Finding our baby and getting Green back to Earth wouldn't even be enough closure for what's developing behind the scenes. I've never read the house trapped thing, but I do recall it started 6 years ago with the intention of being much smaller, and now I know exactly how that happens. Crap, I'm really sorry you might keep getting this series in some incarnation for the unforeseeable future. Can you forgive my egregious? Can you forgive my egregious miscalculations? I
Did you not know
suppose.
that word before?
No, I just fucked that up by accident.
Okay. Yeah, Jonathan Crisis moment.
True. I suppose you're wondering how long we're going to be mucking around in our own worm-eaten remains. Truth be told, I didn't really think we would spend almost the last 100 pages in this subworld alone. But I should have at least guessed. Because it did begin as a concept for an entire unrelated series in itself. To be more specific, I started thinking it would be cool to illustrate a series of children's books inside a rotting corpse to lighten up the concept of death, and explain its ecological benefits to a young audience. Somewhere along the road, it became a concept for a video game where you solve your own murder from inside your body, and then I thought maybe it would make a nice follow-up to Awful Hospital, and then I got so attached to characters I designed for it that I finally folded it into Green Mom's Adventure. Which is just as well, because all that business with the morgue and bodies was planned from the start. I can promise that we'll be finished with our carry-on quest well before we get to a 400th page, but that won't necessarily be the last year we hear from Celia, staff, or anyone else we're going to meet in Cadaverland. And what we're going to find there is a lot more important to our main story than you might suspect. There's more than one item of importance lodged in our putrid husk. Later still, we may be finding ourselves in still bigger, still weirder adventures than this. And maybe not always in command of Green Mom. We may even need to revisit it, eventually, and still weirder realities both within and without one another. As for this latest fan art gallery, the amount of art posted to the series Tumblr tag since the last round has increased by 2.5 times. And if it keeps growing at that rate, I might not even be able to keep up with it anymore. A double-edged sword to a growing audience, I guess. Original fan characters. Still being saved to their own special folder on my hard drive. One of these days I might assemble them into their own gallery. NSFW art. I'd get in trouble if I posted some of it here, but it's good to know I'm special enough to generate it at all. Messed up links. I assembled this page once copy-pasted file name at a time. I assembled this page one copy-pasted file name at a time. I don't know where the C came from. There will be some errors, and some blogs may end up dead if their usernames have changed. If I messed up yours, or you want it removed or changed, just let me know in a comment below. I am making a lot of errors reading this. If your art wasn't included at all, pure accident. I try to include everything I've ever found, but there's just so much being uploaded almost every day. Blogs are linked to give artists their proper credit. Off-site blog contents may not be suitable for all conceptual nodes. And that's a lot of fan art. That is a lot of fan art. Inquire about items. Is that ladder for sale?
Now, how would I even access my inventory without Lara?
Okay, never mind. What's in some of those bottles?
What isn't in some of those bottles? Heck, I've got instant hyper adhesive, all-purpose solvent, surefire worm attractant, even spray-on worm repellent. Just don't get any of it on any of yourselves, and you should remain mostly alive.
Mostly alive?
All bottled chemicals only 10 KP today only, or 1 for any other item you want to trade in.
What's that clear bubble suit thing?
A disposable, single-use virus skin, resistant to all extremes of heat, cold, vacuum, and corrosives for some sort of period of time before it vaporizes. Only 20 KP.
What about the raft?
I'll take 30 for it. No guarantees. The river is the quickest way north. Hey, how much for the sword? I mean, I don't need such a lousy-looking blade, but, you know, I'd be glad to take it off your hands as an emergency backup or something. Yeah. Oh, of course, I can certainly tell you hardly need a +1 attack bonus. Only barely worth, say, 50. And for 70, I'd gladly throw in the axe.
Maybe. Wait, what's that chained-up book?
Yikes, I can't even read it without zonking out. I'll pay you to deal with that thing for me. But I can't, of course. It's worth at least 100. Hey, you should get that sweet armor. It's even built for some ugly four-limbed thing like you. It is built for some ugly four-limbed thing like her, and it's metal. You have to go off-zone for the stuff in any decent quantities. 50% damage reduction can be yours for only 2,000 KP.
I still can't believe there's an RPG system in this thing. After careful deliberation, you settle on a selection of items that sound generally handy, or at least beg further investigation. You trade in the spit and the bandage for a couple bottled chemicals and are left with 50 KP to your name. Acquired. Worm repellent. You're assured that worms won't attack anything that stinks like this, but that it's also horribly toxic in general and you don't want it on you or your clothes. Worm attractant. Whatever's in this, on the other hand, apparently smells irresistibly appetizing and or maddeningly arousing to anything and everything that qualifies as a worm. Gross, but maybe you can use it. Universal adhesive. Maybe you shouldn't buy this without the solvent, but you're kind of out of inventory space. This will allegedly bind any two surfaces permanently. Inflatable raft. Made of a sturdy material that isn't quite rubber and isn't quite leather. It feels weirdly organic. Maybe you don't want to know. Enviroskin. Will supposedly protect you from just about anything for a limited period of time. Keratin axe. Hefty and sharp. You find that the handle fits nicely into your metal pipe thing. Sword. Celia insists that this is a low-grade sword and should have been cheaper, but quickly discards her original weapon. Chain book. Something just drew you to this awful thing. It makes you terribly uneasy, but it feels very important.
Pleasure doing business with ya.
You decide to hurry on your way to your next destination, fully equipped and with a promising new friend. The route to the swamp is a long walk, but monsters seem to give your little band a wide berth. Maybe it's your radical new axe. It is pretty radical, to be fair.
Yeah. Oh, how horrid! Horrid! It's all so repulsively according to plan. Don't think you should have sent on us, boss. I'd risk my only valuable corporate assets. Hogwash. This is why I don't pay you to think, Hyde. We already know what's if A stands the best chance of securing the anomaly. It's in that nasty swamp hag's ridiculous divinations. They have no choice but to cooperate. Ain't she a linear being, Doc? She could die for good, you know. Of course I know, you adorable nitwit, but our dear friends of the hospital will pay dearly for a patient's concept core returned to them intact. She'll be good as new in no time. It's flawless. Whoever loses, everyone wins. You're now leaving maximum scope range, Doc. Yes, yes. Patch me through to you-know-who, just in case.
Incoming transmission.
Oh, Thagey Poo! I've got something tromping around my zones you may find interesting.
Why would you address Phage like that?
Hello, Bulmer. I'm not in the office right now, but please leave your name, your email, or contact order at the sound of the click. I can see you, you nincom... Click. Now, what was I doing again? What indeed?
Every time I see Phage, I just think of the one gag where he got distracted by an image of himself in his own office, and he just assumed he was doing something important, so not to bother himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's actually so funny, and I haven't stopped laughing at it.
A commenter said,
you were writing down the letters of the maternity ward code, just so you wouldn't forget, of course.
Oh, yes, of course.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yes, of course. I was just about to write out that one passcode in a large and legible fashion. And then I do believe I planned on holding it up and admiring it for an extended period.
Oh, did he now? calling it. He'll wrote the passcode. That's not proper grammar, but whatever. He'll wrote the passcode in such a way that it's large and legible for us, and then he'll admire it, holding it so that we can only see the back of the paper.
Ah, yes, an immaculate transcription of this. The combination to our maternity ward. But now what to do? Say, that's an idea. I should turn around and admire my beautiful password from the opposite angle.
About that, well, we got one letter of it, I guess.
So, a mild spoiler, actually, when they do eventually find out the actual passcode, that one letter isn't even actually in it.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Well, that's funny.
And now to put this safely away in my unlocked desk drawer. Doctor, you are a genius.
Trolled. We really thought that we were going to find out the password.
Did
Phage,
you really?
I kinda did. Phage, you've been silently sitting there kind of a long time. At least check what's on the laptop or something.
Oh, that's right.
Your schedule. The excellent doctor. Reorder schedule. Problematic patient at exam ward rounds. Approve cadaver purge. Check green things dog.
It does appear that a better optimized agenda has spontaneously occurred to my rather brilliant mind. Well done, Doctor!
Your schedule. Be excellent, doctor. Reorder schedule. Check green things dog. Something about ties. Exam ward rounds. And he crossed out problematic patient reset and approve cadaver purge.
Okay, so what? The green thing's dog. What? Is that supposed to be Fern's child?
Yeah, I think. Or, well, I think so.
Green things dog? What? Surely I bet that matters own mother and her gravely ill neonate. Computers these days. Ah well. Oh, there you are, Zoe. Hold my calls. Molly, this is no time to be playing around in unoccupied rooms. I'm fine, you?
Fun fact: that wing. If you translate that wingdings, it's just this long string of swear words.
Why does Phage respond to that so casually, though?
Do you really think that Phage is alright in the head?
No? I mean, no, but at the same time... Like, come on.
Yeah, you twos. We barely understand what's going on with this one. High risk. Hold up! What's the password? Oh, come on, you know me. Yeah, just kidding.
Oh, quick thing. Click on that image.
Oh, okay. It's nice.
Yeah.
How do I go back?
Just... Doesn't your computer have, like, a back arrow thing?
Well, the problem with that is... Hold on.
Yeah, just click the back arrow.
Okay, I had to go out of F11 mode, so that's why.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Well, that's just lovely.
Alright, Molly, I'm going in. If I don't come back, I need you to call Miser and tell him he can't have that vacation.
Truly, truly dreadful. I can't believe he would do this.
Sorry for the wait, madam. How's the little one this spiring?
It's translated from sarcastic umami long division. And it's still completely illegible.
What
Oh,
the
let's
fuck?
have a look then.
That's the translated text?
Yes. It also kind of led you on there with the green things dog thing. Thought we were talking about Fern's son, didn't you?
Yes, I did. But no, I guess that's like an actual green thing's dog. I just love how it's translated that you still can't read it because it's in some other fucking language that it wasn't originally in.
Just as I suspected, fit as a filler. Nothing left but to check the old concept core. A mere formality, of course. I'll be out lickety-split and send the nurse in with your discharge papers.
Preparing zone shift. 5, 4, pi, 1, 0.
That's...
Oh, you can hover over this image too.
Oh. Okay. That's
Actually, I think there may have been. Actually, I think there may have been one you could hover over on the previous page too, but I'm not sure.
Okay. I might check that. The one before this, you mean?
Yeah.
No, I think that's just Molly with
Okay,
the
no.
cigarette. Which is
Okay,
still
never
pretty
mind
funny.
then. Yeah.
Why is it, like, occupying all of her face? You know what? I'm not even gonna ask that question. It's probably not necessary.
Well, this all certainly seems to be in order. Pardon me, ma'am. Just one thing seems off. Say, chap, might you direct me to the out-of-throth nodule throng? Much obliged.
What the fuck language even is that? Why are you speaking gummy bears? Why is there a flamingo grafted onto a fucking...
No, I think it's eating the flamingo.
Oh, okay. What is that?
I don't know.
Fair enough. I don't know either.
De-shifting. Please do not imagine liquids.
Do not imagine liquids. Okay.
Yep, that's that. You folks sit tight and it'll all be over soon. A lovely family. Too bad you'll have to purge them. No game this time, just be quick. Oh, and will you drop this off at my lab for me? I do believe I'm already there.
Is that referencing the gag I mentioned from before?
Yeah.
I like how it's a running gag and not even just like a one-time.
Yeah. Of course, do you really think that this comic wouldn't have continuity like that?
Amazing.
I am a great doctor.
Did he just did she just execute them?
Well, he did ask her to purge them.
Yes, I think I know what that word means in that context.
Ah, yes, this has certainly been some quality docting. But as for you...
Wait, what the fuck? Hold on a second.
You're only poisoning her, you know. Perhaps you ought to leave that to us professionals.
Oh, okay. Jesus Christ.
You all have a lovely day now. I have important Thai business to attend to, apparently.
Well, I'm not doing anything, so I don't feel that called out. I'm not leaving any comments. We're moving out of Florida forever. Awful Hospital, Seriously the Worst Ever will continue June 13, 2015. An incomplete list of things you can look forward to in coming months include, but not necessarily in this order: more Dr. Balmer, the fourth and final member of your adventuring party, your triumphant return to the hospital; more Molly, the new and improved cafeteria experience; Tori's surgical ward, what the maternity and pediatric wards really look like; the most awful doctor of them all, the Bloodstain. Oh, let's fucking go. The Bloodstain, classic. Even weirder new friends. Clearly defined villainy, but whose? Dark secrets. Dark-er secrets. Notably with no darker secrets.
No, looking back at that little list of things to look forward to in the coming months, I'm realizing it is one of many examples of Bogley underestimating how long it would take him to get to certain stuff.
Oh, that happens all the time. Like, for me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a classic. Why is there a fucking Kermit serpent?
It's a Kermit worm.
Dude, this thing looks like... Why does this thing look like a South Park character? Am I wrong?
Yeah, it does kind of look like Kenny.
After a lengthy but largely uneventful trek, you finally arrive at the fetid pit known as the Puss Marsh. At its center, a glistening structure of congealed rubbery pus sways softly and subtly back and forth, emitting a sound like someone stirring wet custard. Worms writhe and gurgle on the surrounding banks, but seem either unwilling or unable to get too close.
Slaffy, you brought those friends I saw in my vision. That's amazing, Maggie. How was your mistress? Transmigration approaches, but she's the same old chatterbox. She'll be very happy to have one last visit.
I don't have to go inside that thing, do I?
No, now, don't be shy. You're a full-grown world.
True.
Just what we needed. More animal life. How we staying out here?
You follow Maggie into the sticky, dripping hut. Protruding from the center of the mucky floor is some sort of humongous face? Is that a face? Whatever it's connected to, the rest is buried under the slime. You can faintly hear a soft, slow, repetitive sound from somewhere deep below, like somebody laboriously shoveling their way through mud. Every now and then, a sloppy gurgling erupts from the thing's single orifice. It smells like rot. Your rot. You bury the thought quickly, but there's no sense in just suddenly freaking out just because you're surrounded by oppressive walls of rancid juices from your own festering carcass. That would be plain rude in a total stranger's house.
My goodness, Magatha, you're positively glowing.
You're too sweet, Staffy. To have here. Is that the whole little world I smell? It's about time. I was beginning to worry you'd get too sidetracked at the catacombs. Sure did a number on that baby head, Ruffian. But oh, look at me, proudly gone before you could even get a word in. You must have so many questions, child.
Conversation mode. How can you know so much?
Oh, I can tap into many information channels, scent, vibration, layer ripplings. I can even eavesdrop on the gossip of those nasty worms. I can't say I appreciate the unrotten little hooligans' naughty vocabularies or their mangling of the Queen's proper squirmlish. When I was a wee instar, we enunciated our riddles, and we certainly never ended in undulation with a writhe.
Oh, alright, of course not. What's with...
Worms, they are a basal manifestation of life concept. Their forms are infinite. You and I are, in a sense, only very specialized worm kind.
Okay, so...
A mysterious book, you say? Interesting. That's for something with an optical sense. Prentice Maggie has been my eye since I embedded. She will no doubt be happy to take a look at it.
Oh, okay, do you know...
Oh, anything about Celia? Well, fungi are close sisters to us wormkind, but she's a secretive one. I only know from her chemoscent that she is fairly troubled. I'll keep an eye on her for both her sake and yours.
I see. So, what about...
Of course, the anomaly. It's a strange flavor indeed, seeping down from the northwestern tubes. The worms say they've tasted something like it before, and the Guarls and Ripplers are avoiding the zone altogether. Not that we'll miss the likes of those brutes. I'm afraid I can't pinpoint an exact location, but you can as an unripened fascination of this very world. Take a moment to turn around, slowly.
Alright,
You felt it, didn't you? A juicy surge of nausea. Only you will taste it. That is your compass.
great.
Isn't it? Follow the nausea, and you'll find what you seek.
But then what? I mean, do you know?
The embalming machine, bless his nasty little heart. He is indeed your one certain ticket back to the hospital, and he may very well keep his word, but he is under frightful pressure. There's never any telling what he'll stoop to for the sake of his many investors or his employers.
Who are...
Quite a bit beyond the grasp of your sensory range, and nor are they of any direct concern. You have been sidetracked enough from your true dilemma.
Do you mean...
Your offspring, yes, I'm afraid I know little more than yourself. The worms whisper of a strange miasma, chemical reverberation wafting through a hospital, and slowly but surely bleeding through the zone of barriers. Just this which has drawn comparisons to the latest contamination of our own realm, hardly surprising given your biological relationship. I do not doubt that this quest you have undertaken will provide integral pieces to your greater puzzle.
I hope so. I don't know if I can help him, but I need to see him. I don't care what happens. Every second I can't is like a knife in my back. I need to be there, no matter what.
You certainly do. I do not want to frighten you, but there is something amiss about the hospital.
You don't say?
Especially amiss. Not merely your son's condition. They should not have separated you, and under normal circumstances they would not. Nor would you be left in such confusion, or have needed to respawn as many times as I am smelling. I dare say that there may be outside forces interfering with their operations, perhaps even their very perception of the situation. To what end, I cannot imagine. I wish I could offer anything more reassuring, but I cannot predict distant outcomes. At the very least, you are not presently losing time. Return to the hospital, and it will be as you left it.
Thank you. That's one small relief, at least.
I must say, it has been a delight to chat with such a compassionate world. You are truly as sweet as the many flavors leaking from your remnants.
Thanks.
Now, you'll excuse me, the transmigration has begun. Maggie, take care of these little ones.
Can I just ask if...
So cool.
The millions of tiny buzzing flies quickly clear out of the slimy dwelling, leaving Magatha a collapsed and silent husk. You were pretty sure that wasn't how metamorphosis is supposed to work, but whatever.
Well, looks like she's dead and I'm out of a job. What a beautiful carcass. She'd be so proud. Oh yeah, smells good too. It really does.
That's it, I'm leaving.
We'll catch up.
You know, it just occurred to me, do you think Plasma Temple could work in a format like this, or like Plasma Temple lore?
I don't know, maybe. Also, hello people watching this stream, if there's any of you. I bet you have no idea what a plasma temple is.
It's a temple where you worship the plasma form of matter, obviously. What else?
Yeah, sure, buddy.
You step outside the putrescent hub for a hub? What? Okay, you step outside the putrescent hut for a breath of slightly less fetid air, and notice something slightly awry.
Oh, you want some, huh? I'll take you all on, you elongated scalawags.
Celia?
So it's true, the old dingbat finally croaked. Told you so, I told you guys!
I don't suppose you guys are here for... Okay, no, I should read. You're surrounded by a slobbering crowd of ravenous worms and quite possibly extremely doomed. But through a roiling sea of mental chatter, one dated, corny cultural joke bubbles to the surface and refuses to be ignored. I don't suppose you guys are here for a nice game of pinochle? I like how one of the worms seems like really excited for some reason. An ominous chant rises from the oozing horde, and a huge striped worm slinks forward.
Pinochle! 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 You just had to say it, didn't you?
What? What did I say?
As per the noble traditions of our honorable Foursquarers, the sacred battle of Pinochle shall hereby commence. Party A, the stunted biped and its minuscule cohorts, have formally challenged Party B, all of the worms, for sole claim over the nutritive spoils of the marsh hag's demise.
The worms go wild, hissing and gurgling cheers of excitement and hunger. Is that all? No sweat?
Not even a world can beat worms at their own game, dear. And as per those very same completely real and authentic traditions, we are helplessly bound to beyond any personal responsibility. The losing party shall be honored via consumption by the winning party across all existing and potential iterations of the reality spectrum. May their flesh be sweet and their concept cores absorbed with dignity.
The worms simply cannot contain their enthusiasm. They whoop and shriek, flailing like an ocean of unmanned fire hoses. You could swear one of them literally explodes at one point. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised in this comic.
This isn't all the time with you guys, is it?
No.
Yes, always. But whom shall it be? Whom shall slither forth represent all wormkind in this noblest battle of battles?
Suddenly a familiar visage rises from the crowd.
Mold! Remember that guy?
Do I? Is that the one they had to
used
defeat?
them as a Brit.
Oh, yeah,
was...
right. Okay, yeah, I remember that.
No, could it be? Could it truly be? It is, folks! None other than the legendary Milford M. Sucker, our undefeatable, all-time indisputable ultimate star champion of our grand game of all games, right here, right now, by some simply incomprehensible twist of fate. I can scarcely bear to contemplate how utterly humiliating it would have been if anyone had ever failed a rare opportunity to incapacitate this invincible Grand Mistress of Pinochle, only to hypothetically, of course, find themselves subsequently facing off against her at her very own game!
Yeah, that would be pretty humiliating. Good thing that hasn't happened. The crowd erupts into an awkwardly forced cacophony of exaggerated derisive laughter and a number of other less describable but no less mocking sounds.
All are silent as our returning champion ponders her critical first move. This is a delicate moment, folks. One that can easily make or break the outcome of an entire Pinochle match.
You know, I don't know if that's how you're supposed to play.
Yeah.
I don't remember this as the rule.
Unbelievable, folks! Against all conceivable odds, the Queen of Cards has narrowly pulled off her 9,999,999th signature first turn victory! Truly an historic moment in the glory and perseverance of all wormkind.
I'm pretty sure the game literally just consists of whoever can eat the other the fastest. And it's always just this worm. Having plunged into the stomach of the monstrous worm, you feel that nasty itch of digestive enzymes assaulting your exposed skin. That familiar itch. You think back to the days when missing a rental payment was one of your biggest worries. Now you've experienced being slowly digested at least twice, and that's only twice that you know of. You hate everything right now. You're pretty sure everything hates you back. To be fair, it's not as bad as having to put up with a landlord.
Yeah.
Can't we just cut our way out, or use that repellent stuff?
No, this thing is easily Akko. Of all the unrotten luck.
Staffy and I were Mac's friends. That ought to be us out there eating her corpse.
I beg your pardon?
Look, morals are different when you're a maggot.
Yeah, that's fair.
Don't
I'm
worry, we may be
experiencing some
eating
pretty
lovely-
severe culture shock at the moment.
Don't worry, we may be leaving lovely corpses of our own shortly. Reckon you're quite right. Lovely weather for it.
What kind of attitude is that? I do not intend to let us die here, not in my own dead body.
Could afford me.
How was I supposed to know? Nothing here makes sense. We shouldn't even be the same size. I've just about had it with all this morbid shit, including And then the thing happens.
Mm-hmm.
The rumbling.
I just want to say I appreciate how you could have cut my head off back there, but you didn't. I think we're even now, but I've got to be on my way before the rest of my brains notice your absence and the old reflexes take the reins back. Besides, someone by now has probably invoked Pinocchio once more. My people need me. Okay, bye.
That's a worm ex machina if I've ever seen one.
It's not a Deus Ex Machina. There was proper setup.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, it's
See,
actually
told you
not
it was
it's not Deus Ex Machina because it's specifically Fern's prior actions that caused this to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
See, told you it was worth sparing that ugly thing.
Well, yeah, sure you did. So where are we?
Looks like the bone flat's actually quite a bit closer to our goal.
No wonder I feel a little sicker than usual, even considering where we just were. I think I need to lie down a while.
Good a place as any to set up camp. I'll get the fire going.
Yeah, okay, set fire to my dead guts. Why not? Who has marshmallows?
Oh, I do.
I was joking. You know what? I would love some. You're taking a breather. If you want to reorganize inventories, ask your party members any questions, or hash out any plans, now's your time. You double, triple, and quadruple check with everyone that the marshmallows are not, in fact, made from any locally grown gelatin, or that the bizarre-looking, bubbly-sounding fire isn't dangerously radioactive or anything. Not that either could be much worse than anything else you've been wallowing in as of late. You're just getting past the smell of your own giant burning hair cells and starting to relax a little when your companions begin to bombard you with questions. I don't know what the hell happened there. Conversation mode.
So, what's your name, anyhow?
Huh? Oh, it's,
Don't be rude now, Maggie. This is a whole unripened world you're talking to. It's only proper to address her as such. So, World, what did you do with yourself before all this hubbub?
this and that. You know, odd jobs. I was just starting school, actually. Seems funny now. I was kind of considering something in medicine.
Medicine is no laughing matter. We're certainly grateful for the architecture.
Yeah, how does that work exactly? Didn't you say we weren't necessarily walking around in my body, like not in a really literal, physical way?
I can answer that. It's just your basic perceptual osmosis coil, like when a wife aunt experiences fluid dribble and the leakage manifests a new stunk bundle in a conjoined existo branch. Kid stuff, really.
Okay.
I think what we really ought to know is what actually brought you here. Now that you mention it, what did Magatha mean about your offspring, World?
You decide there's not much reason to hide anything from these, people? After what you've already been through together. I have a son, barely a year old. He got sick and it just kept getting worse. Worse than I thought was possible. Nothing helped. Nobody we saw had ever heard of symptoms like his, but...
What?
They didn't seem like they cared either. I mean, I know doctors have to keep up Fuck, okay. They didn't seem like they cared either. I mean, I know doctors have to keep up a professional tone, but I knew some of those doctors. This wasn't even like them, and how could anyone be so casual when a child is falling apart on them? I mean, almost litter. My bad. You gag slightly. Your head swims for a moment and the memory fades. You suddenly don't even know what you were talking about exactly.
Focus, hon. What were the symptoms?
I can't even. It's like there's different answers to that question at the same time. What's wrong with me?
Nothing's wrong with you. You're just all topsy-turvy in a layer range you don't quite belong to. Who knows what might be interfering with your realities and whatnots? What can you remember?
I remember green?
Green what?
Green everything. Green coming out of him. Patterns on him. Or patterns around him. A smell. How is smell green? And light, and he was glowing. It didn't seem possible. It was like a horror movie. Why the hell didn't they care?
These doctors of yours, what did they say?
Nonsense. Garbage. Up his vitamins. Somebody needs a nap. It was like they were just going through the motions, reading off a script. Like they almost didn't totally connect what I was showing them. They all go through this at that age, they'd say. No, they don't. I'm pretty sure I'd know if they did. Everyone would know.
Calm down, dear. What did they try to do for him?
Everything. Injections, pills, creams. I got so desperate. I let them talk me into herbs and magnets and junk. I knew it was foolish, but nothing was making a difference. Well, Fern, did you consider Dr. Hugh Fudenberg's bone marrow? I'm sure, surely that would have done it. The last thing we tried was an injection. They said it could be an allergy, that he might need a steroid. What kind of allergy makes your skin grow too fast? I don't know what happened then. I think we went home. I put him to bed. The next thing I knew, I woke up in that terrible hospital.
How terrible, exactly?
Horrible, disgusting. That creepy little germ doctor, no offense, didn't seem to know his ass from a hole in the wall. And they had a lot of holes in the wall. I killed a rock in one of them. It was just like that weird cluelessness and incompetence we were getting from our regular doctors, cranked up to some cartoonish level. Nightmarish. Asinine. I think I got murdered by a sandwich once.
I wish any of this made any sense to me. I really do. It doesn't sound right at all. Sounds to me like some weirdo wires getting crossed. Maybe something's discombobulated in your zones. No small wonder the hospital got involved.
What did Magatha mean, and... what did Magatha mean about something interfering with them?
Ain't nobody perfect, especially not when you're trying to manage completely different zones and all. The hospital folks shouldn't be as useless as you're saying. Come to think of it, I can't shake the sense that I should understand more about this than I'm currently managing. Your child's illness, our zone's unknown contamination, the hospital's deterioration. It's almost certainly connected.
Do you have any guesses what could be going on? What kind of thing can cause interference like that?
I'm afraid I can't even begin to speculate. The perception range is quite large. Infinity large. Awful lot of weirdo stuff out there. Warp ticklers, half-scramblers, furtlers, folders, rebirthanizers, cones, pseudocones, gel funnels, billy wiggles, bellhops, the gold gramps, rare pepes. Everything that can perceive some, and also perceive something that perceives something. Exponential-like.
Everyone keeps talking about perception. I still don't get it.
Things exist because you perceive them. You exist because things perceive you. Nothing to it.
That doesn't make sense. What happens to something if there's nothing perceiving it?
Ain't possible. On some layer or another, even your marshmallow is thinking thoughts.
Great. Okay, I'm not. Am I stupid? I don't know what she means by marshmallow.
The one that they're eating right now?
Oh. I'm stupid. Okay. Don't mind me.
I think you've confused her enough, Maggie. We should all try to relax and set off with a what's it after a good rest. Celia, you've been awfully quiet. Are you feeling well? Not really a campfire banter mode. Actually, I need to go avoid some cytoplasm. Hey, leave me that weird book they were talking about. Maybe it's important.
Celia sits up abruptly and slinks off behind the nearest outcropping of bone, leaving the strange book you had her carry. Okay, so I guess what I'm getting from perception zones so far, and specifically from this conversation, is that they're like different layers of existence where like higher beings or lower beings they exist on different planes, and those higher beings would observe the lower beings, and the lower beings will observe even lower beings perhaps, and that's what I think perception zones are, at least what I'm getting from this.
So somewhat accurate, yeah. Although
I'm sure that's just like a
beings
baseline explanation.
Of course, like lower beings, so to speak, can observe higher beings, so to speak. Too. And also, there's just like, and also there's of course debatability as to whether or not it can really be defined by a binary higher and lower, because like it's some abstract stuff.
True.
But,
It could be. That's. I think the concepts of higher and lower would themselves be part of like a singular perception zone, such as the one Fern is on, which is maybe why Maggie is explaining it kind of like that, or whatever.
I don't know.
Also, I think my voice acting might have peaked in like that scene with Fern talking about her son.
Yeah, you did a good job there.
Yeah, usually I feel like I kind of slack, and then I actually like put my whole effort into it.
Yeah.
Read the creepy book. Oh, right, that book. I had the weirdest urge to buy it. Chatter in my head. The store guy said he couldn't read it without Wow, fuck, okay. The store guy said he couldn't read it without blacking out for some reason. He kept it chained up.
It black ain't even locked. But yeah, the old gangly are buzzing something fierce. This thing ain't from around here, that's for sure.
But you can read it?
Alone probably bust me wide open. I can filter the concept for her. Yeah, if it could simultaneously like, but we're both gonna need a good nap to cool off.
And?
Well, from a cursory aerial type glance, I think you might have got bamboozled. This reads like something just for Lelands.
Lelands?
It's a book for whippersnaps. I know who's, or rather what's whippersnaps, but it ain't exactly an autobiography.
Every other time I doubt those little voices, I end up regretting it. Kitty book or not, they must have known it was important, right? They obviously wouldn't make me buy a weird alien baby book because it has a neat cover or something. Let's do it.
Yeah, sure they wouldn't.
Click to read. I'm assuming we should?
Yeah.
Okay. There once was a beautiful, perfect birthday cake. And there was never anything else ever. Everything was fine. The cake enjoyed being the only thing there ever should have been, until without warning it began to feel unwell. As the innocent sweet cake grew increasingly ill, things began being that were not cake. Terrible things. Awful garbage things with dumb baby nonsense thoughts like, how can there be cake before anyone exists to make it? And whose birthday is it anyhow? The cake was very rightfully angered by these filthy clown ideas from the stink brains of gross tools. But nobody even cared. Things kept flagrantly existing and remorselessly not being the cake, all right in front of the poor cake's precious virginal eyes. Everything became ruined and disgusting forever. Soon all that remained of the cake were a few small crumbs. But the crumbs remembered.
The end!
Okay, cool. That's not concerning. No, that's fine, yeah.
Yeah.
You have very little time to ponder the short, cryptic storybook before, just as Maggie predicted, the two of you completely pass out. It's the first sleep you've been aware of in a long time. You dream about many of the things you've seen and some things that you haven't. Yet.
Oh, by the way, I
Damn.
highlight this image.
Damn, Dr. Man is fucked up, bruh.
Yeah, did you hear what I said?
I did say that. Yeah, I did. I heard you.
Yeah.
What do you mean
You know,
highlight
like
the
just-
image? Hover over it?
No, like, you know, like when you click down, hold down, like when you highlight text, you know?
How do I do that? Oh, you mean like this. Okay.
Yes, like that.
I
Okay, and just... Okay, actually, maybe,
I
okay,
think
actually, maybe just, like, maybe just open the image in a different tab. It'll probably be easier to see what I'm trying to show you that way.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
He
there are
is
some hidden
watching.
images in it that you can't see because they're black.
They are coming. Ooh, wasn't real medicine. She is bleeding. I can't wait for Ghostbusters. They know the cure. I don't know why this guy's so excited for Ghostbusters, but sometimes you are, who can say it? Who can ever, who, I don't know what to say about that. That's, I'm gonna just put that in my back pocket. Was that supposed to happen? Was that supposed to happen?
Yes.
Okay.
But actually go back to the tab that was in, and just kind of scroll.
Okay.
Scroll to the side in this one.
Hello, friend.
Okay, that's all there is to see.
Okay. Dude, this looks like this reads like something that would be in like a Meme Man Orang surreal meme from like 2016.
Yeah, it kind of does. Awful Hospital does have that kind of vibe sometimes.
You are violently awoken by the sheer intensity of your final nonsensical dream vision, and the indescribable sense of horror and revulsion that came with it. Your heart races and you almost feel like you're about to vomit, but the memory is already fading.
You can close those two tabs now, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's true. I can. You feel as refreshed as you're probably ever going to be. The subtly throbbing nausea telling you to You feel as refreshed as you're probably ever going to be. The subtly throbbing nausea telling you to head north, where you abruptly come to another river, or perhaps part of the same one you already crossed.
Hey there, you certainly look like you could all use a nice, refreshing swim.
The flailing, rubbery worms speak in high-pitched unison. They sound as though
Oh,
they're
it's supposed to be
constantly
a high-pitched
struggling
voice,
not to
okay.
laugh.
Well, thanks for giving me voice instructions after I said the line, jackass.
Wait, what?
I'm talking to the narrative.
Oh, I was confused for a second.
Ugh, rapid worms. Grizzly devils if there ever were. Give us a chance. We'll be quick, we promise.
Can't we make a bridge out of something? We have before.
Even Mildred would have feared a squiggle of rapid worms. They won't completely live liquid, but their reach is long. They are voracious. We won't even get close enough to fight them, let alone cross, before we're sucked apart.
Oh, wait, hold on. Sucked apart?
Sucked apart?
You decide to explore a little more. There's no way around the cliffs to the east, but to the west, the river picks up abruptly and plunges into the jagged bone valley below. The worms follow. What if we made a bridge, then used that worm repellent on it?
Then the bridge itself, at the very least, won't be eaten anytime soon.
Can we put the attractant on something and distract them?
Rapid worms are rapid. It's doubtful that they can be distracted for long, unless something can draw them away in a hurry.
Maggie, Staff, do you have any ideas?
Unless you need some broken biomat amended. I could direct small swarms of dipterites, of course.
Swarms of what?
The reproductive stage of my myocytes. You were there when Agatha was reborn into roughly 60 million of them.
Can we put the attractant on those?
Stuff's pretty toxic. They'd probably croak right quick. Serve as nothing but a quick appetizer for our vermiform antagonators here. Mighty tasty, though. Not just as a base for marshmallows.
Assemble a decoy. A cacophony of ideas intruding upon your mind slowly fit together into a coherent, if bizarre, notion. Okay, Maggie, this is going to sound weird, but I'm going to put the worm attractant on this bubble suit thing. Do you think you could fill it with flies and have it draw the worms over the falls?
That's all. Oldest trick in the book. Stand back. Subsidy. Authority. Myth. Comedy day. Ooh.
Why does that remind me of Doodle Bob, for some reason? The fly-filled membrane does a jaunty dance, a few flips, and a series of stretches.
Wowee! All this being sure is neato beans.
Why is it doing that?
Oh, wow, hey there, you're pretty much my mom. Wow, thanks for having the idea of me in all existence. Really something else. What can I do for you while I'm still a thing?
Nothing.
We just need you to take a plunge off of this here puffs all and get ate up by some raft worms on account our friend here's powerful attached to this here particular mortal coil. Oldest trick in the book, no sweat.
Now, wait a minute. Aren't you like... Okay, now, wait a minute. Are you like a person? Is this okay?
I am now, sure, thanks to you guys. That'll just utterly and permanently cease to be on all conceptual levels. No sweat.
Jeez, no. We can think of something else.
Oh, come on, Mom. Other Mom is cool with it.
Can you not call me that? It's kind of personal.
Oh, no sweat. How's Mother? Mommy, if I'm only ever going to experience the suffering for a few moments, I can at least have the courtesy to get that right.
No, it's just that why does this work this way? We didn't need to bring something to life.
Oh dear, you're still not understanding. Everything works this way. You work this way. The self you experience is only one possible composite interpretation of interactions between many neurons. They, in turn, a temporary arrangement of molecules with dreams and ideas of their own. Well, I get enough of you greys in one room, and there's a consciousness entirely distinct from its opponents. From its components. I had a lovely chat with one over tea during an internship, till, of course, the boo he let out, initiating the breakdown of my good chum's definition sphere and disintegration of its conceptual parameters back into compartmentalized, unentangled individual perceptoids. You think when you cross this river is going to be a part of being to someone, whether or not our perception spheres overlap. Everything you are and everything you do brings perceptoids and conceptoids into and out of existence. It's just natural.
Wow, that's kind of deep.
Yeah, we all know sooner or later anyway. Hey, in my case, sooner. May as well go out in style. Hey, is that a raft? You all launch me off that there cliff. That'll get their attention.
Can somebody pull over and let me off the universe for a minute?
Of course we can't, you goof. We ain't no moths.
You continue the protest, but your makeshift friend practically drags you to the cliff and plants himself in the raft. There seems to be no conceivable way to talk him out of this, and you finally give up. Fly Guy?
Yeah, Ma?
You're doing a great job. Really great. I'm really proud.
Yeah, I'm pretty cool. See you around. Not literally, but you know what I mean.
As happy as it seems about this whole situation, you can't help but look away as the thing that just started calling you its mother is shoved unceremoniously off the edge.
Yeah. Bring it on!
Break the ledge. The worms are already finished eating by the time they disappear into the foggy depths below. You're left alone long enough to hammer one of the stakes into a fissure and drop the ledge down across the river. So, that's it then. We created and killed somebody in the span of about 5 minutes for this. Maggie, if we did all that again, I mean, the flies, would he be back?
Different diptytes, different situation. Collectivoid is a one-shot.
Oh.
This is really bothering you, isn't it?
I've had to do a lot of weird stuff. I've had to kill a lot of weird stuff, but none of it called me Mom, and none of it was just so I could walk across a rock either. Or bone, whatever. My bone. Ugh. I wasn't even sure there was such a thing as death anymore. I mean, total non-existence. Not while gallivanting around my own corpse like this.
He was happy to do it, dear. He unexistalized doing what he loved.
So that really is what an unexistalizer does?
Sure, unexistence in any form, any place, ever again. It's usually the norm for grey zoners, actually, once the biofunctions shut down. We need branchination to keep germinating layers.
Your nausea grows stronger as you navigate the narrow path, approaching a clearing in some sort of jagged cavern. Your head throbs as the strange little figure crosses your path. The hell was...
For a hard way, be gushes of a secret find.
The thing's buzzing. Shrill words are more of a sensation than a sound. What?
Like a friend of yours, Four Limbs. Just a mad boil, sorry varmints. Leaking into zones where there's an unstable bleed. Nothing knows from where. Was a big one to do again. A red surprise tickles orbitingly. What?
What's it trying to say?
Nothing. I ain't making no sense, not nowhere to nobody. On the plus side, we are definitely nearing something that shouldn't exist in our zone. What fun!
The little creature retreats into the cavern as you approach. The entrance is littered with the remains of oddly identical skeletons. Fine, whatever. You descend into the ominous chasm with your friends and find a grotesque cavern of hollowed-out bone tissue and moist, spongy marrow. Those pale little creatures scamper from the light at every turn. The chamber, or rather your head, echoes with their distant whispering. Two paths, neither's feeling worse than the other.
Hold your horse, lass. Let me buzz the place.
Buzz the place? We're not making and or murdering someone again, are we?
No, nothing that fancy. The local dip rats will just shoot me a rough approximation of the residency. Just a moment.
Maggie wolfs down a large butterscotch from her rations and scribbles on the wrapper with some partially melted hunks of licorice.
Where this star here, the swarm's got some strong feelings round some parts, but your sentiments may vary. Never any guessing what'll grab their interest.
Go west first. You decide to check out the Happy Room just to the west, then return and investigate the large central room to the north. The chamber between is small. Only one of you will fit through at a time. Crumpled next to a pile of bones is a brochure? Dr. Balmer's retirement preserves. Are you tired of devouring your own wold? As you await inevitable self-destruction, we'll do it all for you. Continue west. You continue to the large room, marked with a happy face. Your comrades file in behind you. You can see, and unfortunately smell, what got the flies so excited. The thing responsible for the mess peers at you with luminous eyes, but does not attack. The end of a broken chain lies on the floor. Its other end trails into another chamber. You're dwelling a little on that weird brochure. By now, your
Just roll
friends...
up just a bit so I can actually see the image, please.
Oh yeah, okay. You're dwelling a little on that weird brochure. By now, your friends have either heard or deduced that Dr. Balmer sent you on this errand. Yet they're still helping you. you're not sure if you should talk about it or not. Head down and maybe have a chat about Balmer. You hop down the sloping hole to another large cavern. A strange object bobs ominously in a pool of decomposing juices but doesn't approach. As you and your friends poke around, currently keeping a safe distance from the pool, you decide to share the brochure you found and probe them a little. So, I found this pamphlet thing. What's the deal with this Balmer guy, anyway?
A rumph, that's the deal. Bit of a loudmouth about our inevitable destruction, but a decent sort of type over tea, real shiny like. Ah, the preserves. Not a bad place if you're into existing longer.
Aren't you?
We exist to decompose. We either extinguish ourselves as we extinguish our zone, the preservators extinguish us first and repurpose it, or we agree to an existential in retirement, decomposing a steady stream of fresh material.
So why don't you?
Why should we? It may not be our efforts to be terminated en masse by Obama's Uber, but it beats having to pick up and move just to drag out our biospan in a foreign environment.
That's it? That's it? You just roll over and die?
Everything's got eventually. May as well stay home to do it.
But what if there's some other way? Can't we stop him?
You would certainly consider a fourth option, but he has as much right to pursue his purpose as we do, and he simply happens to be better and faster at it, that's all. Now, for all we know, this anomaly could threaten what little we have left, and he alone may have the means of neutralizing such a hazard. More importantly, cooperation with him is your only ticket out of here. You got that right.
You're all just so accustomed to death.
Incredible deductive skills as always, Worm.
Intermission!
Happy anniversary!
Oh god, you again! Where is this?
Can you believe it's been a whole year?
What? What's been a year?
Only them, of course.
Them? Which them?
They've all been so patient with this arc. They deserve something special.
Thanks for making insufficient medical practice. These conditions are deplorably unfavorable. A success for an entire year.
How scandalous.
Truly awful. I like how Bogleach is just a total troll. Dude. Oh my god. The fact that we're just at the 1 year mark is kind of crazy, considering, isn't it like the 10th anniversary this year? Like, isn't that coming up?
Yeah, although the updates did kind of slow down considerably later on.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Poke the floating thing before you leave. I don't think that's a good idea. Oh, good lord.
Who's that stiff son of yours?
What did you say?
Don't listen to it. It's probably just picking up echoes of your still alive, is he? What a shame. You better wait here while I fix that.
I'll fix you.
Oh my.
Before anyone can offer further protest or an escape, the putrid monster surges forward, soggy tongue flapping and withered arms flailing. Geez, that looks a lot like Dr. Phage.
Yeah, that's the point.
Okay.
It's supposed to look like Phage.
Battling Ghastly Physician Worm L7. Oh my god, the fucking RPG system.
Hey, by the way, when you briefly scrolled down a bit too far, I noticed in the comments, Bogleach said, "I hope you all imagine this thing with Professor Farnsworth's voice." So I'm just gonna have to do that from now
Holy shit,
on.
is that fucking Phantom?
Yeah, it is.
Holy shit! No fucking way, dude! I mean, I'm not surprised, but what a small world. Okay, hold on.
How do you think I found Plasma Temple in the first place?
Oh. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Did A find
Yeah.
it through you?
Yeah, he did.
I hope you all hear Professor Farnsworth's voice.
I guess that's the voice I'm gonna have to be doing now.
Okay, I don't really know who that is. That's the thing.
Guy from Futurama.
Oh.
Good news, everyone! You're all invited to be tissue donors.
The worm is mercifully slow moving, but appears to be rearing up for an as yet unknown offensive maneuver. Who will do what? Battling ghastly physician worm L7. You shield Maggie. Maggie cannot be targeted this turn, and all damage to yourself will be halved. Celia used Burger. Or you can. Do you want to read that?
I don't. Blah, 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 blah.
Okay. Celia used Burgle. 1d20 plus 5 result, 14 success. Dashing past the decrepit creature, Celia shoots a tendril under its lab coat with blinding speed, pulling out a small object. Item stolen, mucus vial. Restores all health to one party out of battle. Delicious, too. Staff boosts Maggie. Cellular tissue surges from Staff's cilia, bulking up Maggie with a sort of secondary skin. Weird, Maggie looks pretty big now. Plus 1 to all rolls this turn. Maggie attacks with Lightning Bolt. Strike roll 8, success. Maggie spouts some Latin and waves her staff in a circle. I don't know why she's speaking Latin, but I'll just accept that at face value. A jagged stream of flies crackles out of the darkness and surges against the heinous monstrosity, inflicting upon it the idea of electricity. This is slightly stronger than usual at the moment because Maggie is currently bigger, of course. Damage roll with plus 1 boost, 12, 6 crossed out, 19, 14, 16, 7, 21.
You don't have to read all those
10,
numbers.
9, 2 crossed out, 8 damage.
For future reference, you don't have to read all those numbers with the damage rolls.
Okay, gotcha. I believe the worm has a line here.
Alright. Oh my.
Enemy turn. Ghastly Physician Worm uses health transfusion. The monster's tongue fires from its slobbering maw like a chameleon's, latching onto Gross Worm, Fell Barbarian, and begins to leech away the idea of health. Not just health, the idea of health. Damage roll. Damage. 4 damage. Gross Worm is hit. Ah! Gets moist! Fortunately, you are only taking half damage this round.
Ah, health. Sweet, refreshing health.
I don't know if I would call that health, but whatever. I like how Staff has like 3 health bars.
Yeah.
Battling L7 Ghastly Physician Worm, round 2. That was a really easy fight. You swing your plus 1 axe. Strike roll 21. Critical strike plus 1 damage bonus. The axe buries deep in the soft, spongy, rotten face of the creature, greenish ichor spurting loudly from its maw and open eye socket. Damage roll 4 damage.
Good news, everyone! You've killed me! Ish, brutal. What do you even need us around for?
What a comically difficult fight. The worm sluggishly slithers backwards, disappearing leisurely into the sludge, but not before it coughs up a small, heavy object onto the bony floor at your feet. Acquired antiquated medical model. This crude object couldn't have possibly been useful, could it? head towards the sleepy room. You go north, following that mysterious chain to a new room. Your nausea throbs. You are surrounded by those clammy-looking little gremlins murmuring away in the dark.
We must be getting closer to something pretty weird.
That phlegm face thing wasn't weird enough. Why did it say those things?
Probably manifested from your core, cobbled together a bioform from your experiences and anxieties. That or it were a bona fide doc from some other layer come by to see what's up, same as us.
Great. Thanks for setting it off, by the way. That was only my 100th worst new experience lately.
Aw, shucks, anytime.
Continue to sleepy room. You enter the chamber the flies seem to find sleep-inducing. That's it? A book? This isn't going to be about cake again, is it? Before you can even touch it, the strange book begins to vibrate and forcefully flips open.
Howdy doodly do. How are all you fine readers tonight?
So far so bad, I guess?
Not you, silly deal. I'm addressing all them juicy readers out there. How doodly do.
Great, it's bonkers. What else is new?
Shh, that's the esteemed Professor Lexi Kavermus. He must be dropping in from the library. Let him do whatever he's here to be doing and you'll probably be fine. ...
Dot.
You tasty-looking folks, you haven't put the library near enough to close the circuits. Tell you what, if you'll promise to enjoy some literature from your zone's most convenient local depository, I'll let you have a freebie just this once. Just to be real neighborly-like. What do you say?
Promise to read more often.
Well, ain't that just the knees and peas? A deal's a deal. For no charge at all, I'll let you nice morsels pick out one fine item from your ever-growing shelf here at our fantabulous intrazonal omnipotent library. Whatever you pick, I can pass on to anybody else you like, even the savory green protagonist. Either you seem to enjoy pushing around lately. Plenty of things you don't know. You added all the tasty files, journals, and whatnot. You pick it out, she gets to read it. Better choose real careful, like. Next time might be life and death. You never do know.
Item chosen. The tiny bookworm sways to some inaudible rhythm, nodding his little head as though affirming equally inaudible dialogue.
Boy, howdy do. You could sure use some organization Ever consider ecomorphosis? You ever do think as clearly as you can on paper? Give it a thought, why don't you? In the meantime, I don't believe I heard one request more than any other in the end. So, Madam Chartreuse, as I call you, I believe this is yours.
Step 1. Communism only works on paper. Step 2. Lexicomorphosis. From his own black, physically impossible hole, the professor pulls forth a few wrinkled, water-stained papers messily printed and barely stapled together. Thanks?
No problem. Hope your reading experience is enlightening. And to the rest of you out there, keep your eyes peeled. I'm sure we'll meet again. I could pop up just about any zone. Of course, next time, I'll expect you to bring me a library card for my trouble. Bye, diddly-dee.
The professor disappears into his book, which in turn collapses and vanishes with an audible pop.
Yeah, so
Okay.
if you want, you can click that. If you want, you can click that link to get to the book that he just gave to her. But it's kind of long, so I'd suggest you do that on your own time,
Fair
sometime
enough.
after the stream.
Okay, I still have no idea what just happened.
Professor works in mysterious ways, but we can surmise that someone or something out there wanted to relay information to you. I suggest you take a look at it. It could be very important.
This reads like part of some bad autobiography.
Is it helpful?
I don't know. If it's for real, then we aren't the first human beings to wake up in the hospital like that.
That seems comforting to know.
Yeah, but it doesn't end well. It almost feels like a threat. Something wants me to know that this person never went home.
Needn't be a threat. Perhaps they simply want to warn you. Or perhaps that story simply isn't complete.
Yeah, maybe. We better keep going. Go back and follow the chain. The mysterious metal chain leads you up to a large open chamber and disappears through a hole much too small to follow. More importantly, the cavern is illuminated by a pulsing, glistening horror with a crackling flame for a face. Even this doesn't explain how hot you're suddenly feeling. And you're getting hotter. Fast.
Worm, I don't think you should linger for long. Oh no, let her linger. It's been far too long since I've enjoyed a good brain fry.
The monster pulses louder. The monster pulses louder. Its flame glowing vibrantly. Your skull begins to pound. Sweat cascades down your face, and you begin to feel woozy. Retreat. No sooner do you get it in your head that to flee than the world seems to spin. The next thing you know, you're back in the first chamber.
We almost lost you there for a second. Fever worm is not to be trifled with. Not for an organism such as yourself, anyway. How are you feeling?
Better. I mean, back to just the nausea this place was already giving me.
It would be in our best interest to avoid the fever worm for the time being.
Before I zonked out, I had a thought. Did you try pulling that weird chain?
We agreed it could potentially trigger some sort of death trap for all we know. So I gave it a powerful good yank. You sure did. It didn't do nothing. Not this end, anyways.
Maggie hangs her head and kicks at the ground. Why is this broken?
It'll be fine. Just click on it anyway.
Okay. Must have just been a glitch.
Yeah.
Explore north. You head up towards the small
I think
room.
on some pages, Bogleach just forgot to actually update the graphic for the
Fair
next
enough.
hero, but that doesn't mean it doesn't actually work, you know?
Explore north. You head up towards the small room where the path splits on your map, but as you hoist yourself through the claustrophobic cavity, you could swear something darts by in the darkness. Another worm?
You saw that, right?
I did, yes. In the chamber just north of your starting point lies the bloodied carcass of a worm. Somebody do this while I was out of it. Celia?
It's amateur work. These holes were made with something blunt.
If it was already here, shouldn't the bugs have marked it on the map?
This only just happened. Ain't smelling nice and ripe yet.
The dead worm isn't offering anything else of interest to you. The footing in the next room is tricky, and you go in first. There are 2 paths from here, and one of those little creatures stands between them. You notice it isn't retreating into the dark like the others.
Red begins again. It does a one big.
You really are trying to say something, aren't you? The little thing spends a moment hopping from one foot to the other.
And do I know a soft red trick was expressed?
It flails its tiny muppety arms at the left path. Is that bad?
And do I? Big red nausea excrusions for a wet gag family.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Red green. Amazement must fear to go.
Without warning, it dashes into the left hole. North. You're not sure if the little guy wanted you to follow or not follow, and your head chatter, as far as you can tell through the waves of nausea, isn't certain either. You decide to take the initiative and follow it into a massive central chamber.
A red.
Joseph McCarthy be like... The hell is that?
It's like an old polyp. Real old. Pre-mortis.
I had a polyp?
Normal, dear. They come and go from those biophores before they've ever noticed. This would have been quite minor from your perspective. For ours, it appears to be obstructing something rather important.
I do feel sicklier than ever. The closer I get to it, even looking at it, I feel like gagging.
And our goal is most definitely on the other side of this monolith.
Can we dig through it?
Not without seriously heavy-duty equipment. We had a powerful enough corrosive, perhaps, or better yet, an explosive.
Is that writing on it?
Yeah.
Can you read it?
Sure, but it ain't a word for polite company.
Oh, nice.
A red.
Enter the happy room. You take the eastern path from the polyp room, entering another cavern the flies marked favorably. Oh, God. It's been mutilated even farther, but there's no mistaking the dead worm you stumbled upon only minutes ago. While you were poking around in that last room, something dragged it in here and added it to a thoroughly rotten pile of older corpses. Those ghostly little beings are picking over the heap and shoving handfuls of gore into their eyes.
Mind if I grab a bite?
Knock yourself out. Just be careful.
We should all be careful. Uncivilized though they may be, a worm would not kill its fellows only to leave them rotting and uneaten.
Further east.
Hungry.
A grindworm won't come out of its tunnel, but don't get too close. It prefers metal, but it can end with pulling any solid matter.
Go north. You enter the hole to your north and are greeted by a pair of baleful, luminous eyes.
You peasant! Please, come closer!
The thing's voice sounds somewhere between a laughing hyena and nails grinding together. It looks and sounds very big. Celia, any idea?
Unfamiliar miasma. Likely another new strain growing off your core memories. Maybe even a one-off, intense vibrations, very high level.
Go south. For now, you leave the mysterious monster alone and investigate the last two southeast rooms on your map. One is more or less empty. The other... that smell...
Methane, sulfur. My mouth should be watering, but there's something else. Can't quite place it. I ain't feeling too well.
It's how he smelled my son. Leaking his skin.
Ooh, touched a nerve, have I? I thought this tasted like a juicy form.
I really don't want to be here right now.
We don't need to be. Your emotional well-being is more important. Best we steer clear anyways. One spark in here, none of us will be left to enjoy the fritters.
You hastily exit the reeking abode of the gaseous worm. It still sinks somewhere in the outer chamber, but the fumes seem to disperse quickly throughout the caverns.
Are you alright to continue, world?
Yeah, I think so. Actually, didn't you say earlier we might need an explosion?
Yes, if I can trust the vibrations, explosive force should shatter or at least loosen that polyp blocking our way.
Couldn't that cause a cave-in?
It shouldn't. The polyp is hard, dry, and desiccated. The surrounding cavern is a more yielding material. Compare striking a dried bone versus striking a dot of leather.
The fever worm thing, was that really on fire? It's kind of hard for me to tell what's what around here.
Yes, it communicates the concept of a fever with its literal flame. Worms and their pretentious bloody symbolism.
So, we just need these two worms in the same place, right?
Very least, we need this one's gases to build in the polyp's chamber. Then we can worry about igniting them.
Can we put the rest of the worm attractant on the polyp?
It would spread far enough through the tunnels. It would dissipate first, like the gases in here.
Okay, what if we put it on something else and use it as a lure?
How about yourself? Worms favor things about your shape with the things on top. Hands! Yes, those. I've got one too! Yeah, you're both pretty gross.
Retrieve the chain. You return to the northernmost room. Or northeasternmost room, I suppose. Okay, listen, we don't want any trouble. We just need...
An emergency craniectomy! Yes! I have you penciled in for 6 o'clock. Hold still.
A bizarre form undulates swiftly and silently from the dark. Bigger than you expected. Much bigger. Oh, that's That... No. No, I don't think I would. This doesn't seem like a very safe operation.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I was thinking earlier about the conversation where Fern was kind of like talking about the doctors like ignoring her son's condition. My standing theory is that maybe they just didn't see it. Like it was only her who was perceiving that as something that was going on. Because the way she described those doctors acting, it really seemed like they didn't even know what was going on at all, or like at least not to that extent.
Yeah, you might be onto something there.
Oh my god, more RPG. How?
You won't feel
Bro.
What?
There's more RPG?
You won't feel a thing. Eventually.
Choose your actions. Oh, Fern hasn't healed yet. Okay. Battling unnecessary surgery worm. L2.
Level 12.
Oh, level 12. Okay. Why did I say L2? I'm stupid. Okay. Staff boosts you. You feel gross and uncomfortable as bacterial matter flows over your body, but you feel pretty strong. You get +1 to all rolls this turn. Celia used Burgle. 1d20 +5 result. 23. Success. Celia manages to find a single particularly loose object on the monstrosity. Item stolen. Rusty surgical hook. Rusty but still strong and incredibly sharp. You swing your axe. Strike roll. 17. Success. Damage roll with 2 plus boost. 3 damage. Maggie attacks with a lightning bolt. Strike roll 18. Success. The worm is blasted by a river of insects embodying the idea of lightning. Its metallic components appear to draw the blast, but its oily latex covering appears to absorb much of the effect. -1 to all damage rolls. Damage roll with -1 penalty, 4 damage. L12, unnecessary surgery worm.
Feels good.
I do like how Maggie had like a demerit and Fern had a boost, and Maggie still somehow did more damage. You gotta love RPG luck. Enemy turn.
Yeah.
Unnecessary surgery worm used field anesthetic. The creature clasps its fingers together, coils up its body for a moment, and propels a mighty fist straight into Maggie. Damage roll, 7. Damage. Maggie is passed out. Do you think Bogleech like actually rolled these numbers to determine what would happen in story?
Yes.
Maggie has passed out. Battling unnecessary surgery worm, level 12, round 2. Staff heals Maggie. Staff transfers a portion of her biomass. Okay, so Staff transfers a portion of her biomass to Maggie's body, filling in wounds and replacing damaged tissues. Staff loses 4 health. Celia slashes with her +1 sword. 1d20 +1 result, 8. Miss. Celia misses completely, but segues into a rolling maneuver and a triumphant ha to make the whole incident look planned. This is like the fucking Elon Musk slams dick in car door masterful gambit, sir meme. You shield Maggie. Maggie will take no damage this turn. Damage to yourself is halved. Maggie attacks with Fireball. Strike roll 20, critical success, +1 to damage. A ball of flies condenses out of the air, slams into the worm, and scatters. The worm suffers the concept of fire damage. Damage roll. 19, 13, 18, 21, 12. I don't need to read all those. 5 damage. L, level 12, unnecessary surgery worm.
Which charming! I need to borrow a skin graft.
Enemy turn. Unnecessary surgery worm, use scalpel dance. The creature's huge, blade-tipped fingers rife wildly, striking around the room. Damage will be divided as evenly as possible among all targets. 8 damage. Gross Worm is hit for 2 damage and takes 2 for Maggie. Good thing you are only taking half damage this round. Celia is hit for 2 damage. Staff is hit for 2 damage. Level 12 Unnecessary Surgery Worm regains health. During its scalpel dance, the monster sews shut some of its own wounds and patches its burns with stolen hunks of tissue. Missing one of its surgical hooks, the process suffers a -1 penalty. Battling Unnecessary Surgery Worm level 12, round 3. Staff gives you 4 HP. The sensation of bacterial goo soaking into your flesh and knitting things back together probably just made your top 10 list of worst sensations in the world. But once it fades, you feel like $1,000,000. Celia slashes with her +1 sword. 1d20, +1 result, 18 hit. Damage roll, 18, 18, 21, 3 damage. I don't need to read all that.
Yes.
You swing your +1 axe. 14 hit, 3 damage. L12 Unnecessary Surgery Worm.
I don't feel so good. Anybody here a real doc?
The monster's head, hands, tumbles to the floor. Well, that was a slightly harder fight than the last one.
Yeah.
Monster defeated. Acquire a gigantic rubber tube. The sleeve of a monstrous worm Titanic latex glove seems as though it just might come in handy. All that for a chain in a rubber tube.
Now, don't look a gift tube in its tube.
I guess we could use that to vent some of that gas where we need it. Vent? Among Us?
God damn it.
But that room has more than one exit, and we're gonna need to seal it somehow. And then we still need to get the fever worm there.
We'll have to consider what we have at our disposal.
Blow that thing up. Oh, okay. You use the adhesive on the surgical hook and anatomy model. The result looks a lot like a fishing lure. You douse it in some worm attractant for good measure. Celia suggests you add some of your brain tissue to the hook. She seems incredulous when you explain you need all of it. You douse both ends of the rubber tube in worm repellent. This should ensure the gas worm doesn't try to dislodge it. You can hear the horrible thing chuckling and belching away in its room, and now that it knows the smell upsets you, it seems to be giving its all to stink up the caverns. Good. You give Celia the lure. You give her some of the adhesive to attach the lure to the loose end of the chain, reminding her to leave the hook end loose. Hopefully the fever worm will either chase it or even swallow it. She assures you she's been worming since she was a spore, and doesn't need to be lectured by a noob. You give Staff the rubber tube and the remaining adhesive. She runs the tube from the gas worm's room to the polyp room. She remarks how similar this is to an ectocolonivaping, and lets you know she does them for free. You decline. You send Maggie to plug the polyp room exit with dead worms. Hey, not much else is available. She takes the task like a child opening birthday presents. You get ready to feed the chain to the grindworm. You cross your fingers that the fever worm will not only fall for the bait, but the grindworm will be strong enough to pull the fever worm into the polyp room. I like the puzzle-solving aspect of this part. The chain reels in slowly, even slower once it seems something is pulling against the other end. Within minutes, you all rush to inspect the damage, and it's just as Staff predicted. The polyp is in charred hunks. The only damage to the room is a layer of soot. The worm, amazingly, is in one piece, but shrunken and cooked like a piece of jerky. It still scoots across the floor as a distant grindworm mindlessly devours the chain. You hope it will enjoy the surprise at the end. That little creature follows you in, apparently having been smart enough to clear out during the blast. Wow, this thing's really obsessed with the color red. I did not mean to... I did not mean to do that. You step through the eerie, luminous opening, waves of nausea on a rampage through your guts. Okay. Damn. This goes hard.
That's one word for it. World, Miss World, hello!
What? You blink a few times, head swimming, and take another look around the hellish landscape of your own twisted doppelgangers. Weren't they all just looking at you? They don't even look alive now. Where you thought you saw a sea of gleaming white eyes, there are only shrunken, decayed sockets. Wait, white eyes? Herobrine?
God damn, you have some severe brain rot.
I do. Sorry, it's a little much, even after what I've already seen.
Oh, don't apologize, dear. I'm sure we're all stricken. This place is gorgeous. And the fragrance. I can scarcely believe what I'm smelling. So it ain't just me, is it? Won't even be possible, but my sniffers ain't not never lied. Indeed, the growth in here is unmistakably post-mortem. I ain't think it's all the same post, neither. I think you're right. Varying stages of cell death. Do you know what this could mean? And it's an ongoing process. Dying off almost as fast, but you feel the vibrations too. Cells are replicating themselves beneath our feet. New growth pushing old growth to the surface. Maggie, are you thinking what I'm thinking? We've done been presented with this here rare opportunity to taste early stage cell death, what our great-great-granddaughters would have known like. Well, there's a little more to it than that, but yes, also that. I could go for a bite myself. I do believe it is past picnic time.
Well, wait a minute, you can't be serious. Before you can protest any further, your companions dig in. Wait. Please? With relish. You abruptly forgot even your initial worry that this food might not be safe for your impromptu allies. At this microscopic scale, or whatever it is, you found it so easy to detach yourself from where you were. You knew what it was. You knew what these beings thrived on. It was all just too alien to come to grips with, for better or for worse. You had long come to see these beings as only people, however strangely they might be shaped. But right now, as you watch them strip the putrid flesh from a bloated mockery of your own face...
You okay?
All you see are things. Calm down, they're still your friends. I really need to be alone for a minute.
Well, what's eating you? There's plenty to go around, you know. Oh dear. Do you suppose we've been uncouth? Ah, who cares? Miss World, what don't revolve around her set. Oh wait, that's you actually.
That was terrible. That was awful.
Yeah, I didn't really think you'd be very good at screaming.
I'm not very good at screaming, and I also have gotten several warnings for volume from my Dawn, so I probably shouldn't.
Our dear friend is in danger.
Oh my god. Oh my god. What the fuck?
Time for a boss fight. Oh wait, after a fan art gallery.
Of course. 400th page fan art gallery. 100 pages also. I promised we would be back at the hospital but well before we reach this next milestone, but it looks like we're going just a little over that projection, and I'm going to shift the blame squarely on you for liking these characters and providing so much enthusiastic feedback that for every idea I think I have, your comments help me concoct at least another dozen. I wouldn't even have half a series without your help. Shame on you. Look at what you did. Fortunately, I can promise for real that this month is the last we're spending in our own corpse. I know you guys have really gotten attached to Maggie, Celia, and staff, but they won't be out of the picture for good. we've still got just a lot more weirdo. We've still just got a lot more weirdos to meet and weird places to meet them. As for our 400th page, it's time I collect another batch of fan art, and all the usual stuff applies. I probably messed up on some of the links, and I probably missed some pieces of art since I just do my best to collect it over the course of months. I'm still taking a break for a few days after all this work, but when Awful Hospital updates again, we're diving straight into a very important battle. And then we're going to find out once and for all what's going on with Dr. Balmer, Celia, the Morgue, and an extra special Fremb. I don't really need to read all this stuff. I think the main announcement's probably fine. Nice fan art.
Anyway, time for a boss fight.
Atop the writhing, withered mountain of flesh, a central mass blobs and... No, sorry. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Excuse me. Atop the writhing, withered mountain of flesh, a central mass bobs and sways, squealing with burr and... Damn it, I can't read this. Okay. Atop the writhing, withered mountain of flesh, a central mass bobs and sways, squealing and burbling. Battling... whatever that is, level 15. A churning, bubbling sound can be heard deep within the creature's body. It hoots and titters, wobbling awkwardly. Celia used Burgle. Success! Coiling up into a tight clump, Celia launches herself like a string with precise aim, snatching the monster's only noteworthy possession from its grasp. Item stolen. You. Alive, but dimly, muttering a lot, dreaming of something. Staff boosts Maggie. Maggie will get +1 to all rolls. Maggie used Lightning Bolt. Success! Aiming for the monster's single bright eye, Maggie unleashes a crackling blast of flies. Damage with one bonus. 6 damage. Enemy turn. Question mark used Hairclot. A frizzled knot of keratin and withered sinew bursts from the creature's flesh like a cannonball and explodes into dozens of writhing, squirming pieces. Celia is hit. Staff is hit. Maggie evades. Celia, 2 damage, and 2 damage to Staff.
This thing, it's like nothing I've ever smelled. Brain of the surrounding tissue, that's for sure. How's Miss World? Stable, no foreign contaminants. I could stop her bleeding, but she will be unconscious for some time. Just my luck.
Battling... question mark. Level 15, round 2. Celia used Leap. Celia will dodge all attacks this turn and land a guaranteed blow next turn. Staff heals Celia. Staff transfers some biomass to Celia, patching up her wounds. Maggie used Barrier. Maggie will resist all damage this turn and take only half next turn. Enemy turn. Question mark used Nerve Whip. A twisted rope of exposed nerve endings snake out from the monster's tattered curtains of flesh and crack like a whip at Staff. Strike roll. Hit. Damage roll. 3 damage. Question mark suffers recoil damage. That's what you get for hitting things with your own nerves. Damage roll. 4 damage.
It took more damage from that than it actually dealt.
True. I just noticed that.
That's what you get for hitting things with your own nerves.
Wouldn't punching also hit things with your own nerves, technically? Because they're... Whatever.
Oh, that's smart. What do you think, Maggie? The anomaly? Maybe just something that's lipped in with it, like the mag boils. Ain't smell like a reverberator, though. Ain't of the abyss or the seething, neither. If we don't make it out of this one, Saffy, you should know I always thought you smelled mighty tasty. Why, thank you, Maggie. You have my full permission to take a bite if I go first. I was good anyways, but thanks, you too.
Truly a wholesome group. Battling question mark level 15 round 3. This thing's design is fucking raw as shit.
Yeah.
Celia lands from her leap. Question mark suffers an automatic 5 damage. Staff boosts Maggie. Staff's biomass makes Maggie appear much larger, +1 to all of her rolls. Maggie used Flyerball. 1d20 plus... No, I'm not reading that. Success! A whirling ball of flies hurl through the air, burning everything they touch with a concept of fire. Question mark appears to recoil from the heat, +1 bonus to damage rolls. Damage roll, 2 plus bonus, 4 damage. Enemy turn. Question mark used Hair Clot. A frizzled knot of keratin and withered sinew burst from the creature's... I think I read this already. I think it was a repeat move. Okay. A frizzled knot of keratin and withered sinew bursts from the creature's flesh like a cannonball and explodes into dozens of writhing, squirming pieces. Celia is hit. Staff evades. Maggie evades. 3 damage dealt to Celia.
Ow. Don't we patch up our worldly friend? I can't do much more than seal the wound. She'll be out cold for a while.
Battling, question mark, level 15, round 4.
Maggie, I just had a notion. I'll need some of that flame concept. Way ahead of you. Hand me the alcohol while Celia's getting a good stab in.
Celia swings her +1 sword. 15, success. Damage roll with 1 plus bonus, 2 damage. Staff gives Maggie her alcohol. Maggie lights the alcohol. Maggie tears a piece of paper from her candy bag to fashion a fuse and ignites, crackling with a cluster of flies embodying the notion of fire. What's the matter with this comic anyway? Maggie hurls the alcohol bomb. Automatic strike and +10 commenter cleverness bonus to Maggie's damage roll. Damage roll with +11 bonus, 10 damage. Boom. Okay, this thing is going down real fast.
Yeah. I smell dying. There's just one way to be sure. You mean? Yes, only the bite of a tri-vessel fusion can guarantee neutralize with an amyloid and a bacterian. Not if you paid me. But if we pay you. Alright.
Her resolve definitely didn't hold very long there.
Let's get this over with.
What the fuck? This is literally power of friendship.
We are the crystal germs.
Holy shit, what is going on? Oh my god.
Nice to meet you.
They literally have a fucking Steven Universe fusion dance.
But I'm afraid your goose is cooked. That's what I call utter devastation.
Jesus Christ. Oh my.
Words don't even make contextual sense.
Of course not. As the mother's remains curls and...
Monsters.
Sorry. As the monster's remains curled and withered, we were left in a clearing of shriveled flesh.
I don't know, Maggie. Are you sure she should be face down? I believe that's where she breathes. She's an animal doc like me. She breathes out the other end. She's breathing. Wake her up already. Lost a lot of fluids. I knit the organs back together, but it may be a while before she comes to. Great. Now how are we supposed to know where to go? I get the feeling we're already there. That thing we all had to have slipped in with the anomaly, but it looked like it could have traveled far from there. Probably didn't travel at all.
As the monster's miasma dissipated, we could clearly smell the alien yet inviting essence of the anomaly we had come so far to find, seeping from behind a particularly conspicuous membrane.
Fireball!
See, Tori?
Yeah, remember the surgeon?
I know who Tori
Turns out
is.
she'd... Turns out she dropped her ID card in when she was operating on this particular version of Ferd.
Really?
Yep.
That's funny.
Who the hell is that? Oh, Tori, guess you've done it again. Please don't tell me that's what we came all this way for. Oh, couldn't be. Ain't helping, though. If this thing's propping up an unauthorized, unfiltrated hospital conduit, it's probably how the anomaly got in to begin with. Vibrations I'm getting. I think the anomaly is only just beyond it. That's correct, Doctor. That's far enough, ladies. Step aside or get zapitated.
Oh, damn. Backed by a seemingly endless swarm of molochoids, the shady protozoan aimed her fully loaded zapitator.
What is the meaning of this? Just business, Doctor. I'll be delivering the anomaly to Balmer. You were about to bring him anyway. Did you not agree to lift the quarantine and send Miss World back to the hospital? There wasn't any quarantine. Nobody cares what happens to an E-class biozone. You just want to rope another non-employee into free grunt work, like the rest of his junior explorers. Me, I'm actually entitled to a nice fat bonus if I'm the one who brings it in. Thanks for leading the way, not to mention bringing down whatever that just was. I need to remember what my voice for this character was. What makes you so sure he won't just fire you on the spot for your interference? Hold on. Please, he already thinks you're bloodthirsty monsters. He'll only believe the part where I valiantly thwarted your plans to keep it all to yourselves.
That's actually canon, by the way. He just switched voices midway through the scene.
She, actually.
Oh, she. Yeah, my bad.
You don't even know what it is. Nobody does. Ah, no, that's another lie, sorry. He's got a million... Had I forgotten what the voice was already, goddammit.
Troll.
Oh, no, that's... Ah, no, that's another lie, sorry. He's got a million of them. Like the one where he destroys something that valuable just to save your throwaway little world, or the one where he'd ever let an inexplicably branchinating gray zoner leave his jurisdiction unprocessed. I'll need you to hand that over, too. Absolutely not. We'll go down fighting first. After a fusion, I'm surprised you have the energy to stand. You know as well as I do that you can't outmaneuver a zapitator even at your best. You haven't seen Celia in action. Ah, yes. About that. Don't. Great intel, Fungus. I'd offer you a partnership if I thought you couldn't stab me in the back, too. You know, like these people who trusted you. Couldn't have stabbed anyone who couldn't have stabbed anyone who trusted me in the back better myself. How does it feel to be so backstabbed by a professional-grade backstabber, Doctor?
Damn, okay. I'm gonna be honest, I almost forgot about that plot point.
You are a colossal bitch, Trike. Yes, but one with a big whopping pile of money waiting for her. Just like yours. You can afford at least an E-class all your own now. You could even snag this one when it goes to market. No ugly bugs or bacteria to dirty up your fairy tale kingdom. Silly? Sorry, I just... This is getting tiresome. You and the grub can go on home and either accept relocation or die with the worms. It will do no such thing. Option C, then.
Oh my god. What the?
Open it up, guys. Let's see what an Exvirinator really looks like. Huh. Expected bigger.
Yeah, it is pretty small. It's kinda just, you know.
Oh no, that's not the Exvirinator. This is a dream sequence.
Oh. Oh my.
Wake up.
Jesus Christ, what is going on? The last thing you remember was wandering off from your friends only for some revolting monster to drive a tentacle through your gut. Now you awake in a small metal box, bandaged and stained with your own blood but seemingly intact. Your friends are nowhere to be seen, but you recognize this place. And you recognize the figure dancing around like a child on a sugar high.
Mine! It's mine!
Oh god.
We're rich! I'm rich! Ain't we supposed to distractify it, boss? Hey, yeah, you said it was a threat to your whole operations we got going on. Sir?
My favorite character, the Nameless Tech.
Of course it is, you ditwits! But it's just as big a threat to our business rival as at the hospital. We ain't business rivals with the hospital, boss. Sir, I think... Oh no, then whoever keeps live perfectly good biovessels. Can you even imagine the ridiculous look on Phage's stupid, sexy face when diseases can't properly terminate? When an unsalvageable patient can't even be euthanized? Everything needs the force of death. Healers as much as embalmers, and nobody's going to check into a malfunctioning medical zone where they may as well just dump their failing vessels on us for a quick cut of the profits. Oh, what if they just have to purge the whole zone? Marvelous, horrifically marvelous.
It's really funny how, like, how much of a repressed homosexual this guy is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, how is this dialogue? How could this be interpreted any way other than...
Yeah, obviously. You're as nuts as your bolts, boss, but it sure does pay off. What about the green thing, though? Sir, please, not as profitable, but I'm sure some egghead out there would love to cut it up and find out how a grey zoner initiated post-developmental branchination. Maybe the recombinators can farm it for sausage scraps, and the effluvious conglomeration can patch the silly moon sponge with what's left of its core. Now that's a lark. Hey, genius! That's me, Everton! I think you ought to take a look at these readings, sir. Nitwit, I'm the boss. I'll take a look at the readings.
But that's what they
Gosh,
just suggested.
Gosh, I should have thought of that myself. Guess I messed up. As usual. Now step aside.
Man, Balmer's, you know, he seems like he's a bit of an asshole.
You think?
Yeah, maybe a bit of an asshole. Nameless
What?
Tech gotta be my favorite character for real.
Unpaid pillar intern vibes.
True, and also Spam, like John Glostar's assistant. I feel like
Yeah.
Spam is basically the unpaid pillar intern, except not dying every 2 seconds.
Anyway, oh no, 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 no. It can't be a... Clank, clank. Bulber, have the store reinforced, love Bulber. Don't tell me what to do.
Is he talking to himself with those notes?
Yes.
Wait, I want to read this other one. Balmer, remember this is bad. Love Balmer.
It can't be a... Clank, clank.
Oh.
Dolphin!
Is this where you get all of the dolphin jokes from? I think reading
Yep.
this webcomic is very interesting because, like, I see where the basis of your personality is, like, for a huge part of it now.
Yeah.
You got so many of your quirks from this. I'm assuming some other
Yeah.
ones from Order of the Stick, which we're gonna be reading afterward, yeah.
Not really. Not really. Order of the Stick is a recent one.
What?
A reasonable reaction.
Yeah. Honestly, if I was Fern, I don't know if I would ever be surprised by anything ever again. Like,
Yeah.
oh man,
Relax, you big baby. I'll blast it faster than you can say.
Least violent dolphin.
Trachea, no! That wasn't a real word, Trachea!
Wait, what did he say? Help blast it faster and... True, that isn't a real word. Wait, I like how the gag is like, you think he's upset because Trachea died, and then... But no, he's actually mad because she said a word that doesn't exist.
Yeah. Oh, we're doomed. Doomed. Maybe not, Doc. Oh, it's Sheila, my dear friend. Are you enjoying my
Wait, I don't
substantial
think that's her name.
contributions to your finances? Are you enjoying my substantial contributions to your finances? Be a dear and detach this beast's head, won't you? Not without my barbarian. What? I am at least 40% positive my own safety is not for a first priority to that monster. Even if there is a dolphin. What's the word?
Dangerous specimens.
Make sure you put them back when you're done, and maybe I won't press charges for technically trespassing by not already living dolphins.
Oh, okay. You know, Bomber, that's not a word either. Oh, God, what the fuck is going on?
Come on, let's get you out of here before it comes back.
Wait, hold up. How long was I out? Why is there a porpoise flying around my guts? Where are Staph and Maggie? What happened?
I just sold you guys out.
You what?
But I feel really not quite right about it.
They're dead!
Okay, I warmed things up just a little.
A little?
I swear, on my honor as a serial mugger, I didn't know unprofitable bystanders would get roped into... How big a thing is behind me?
Did they just create a mutant dolphin?
More than that. Who needs the preservators? I'll eat this world myself. I'll eat everything.
This is really hard to navigate, my bad. I keep
They
using...
made a mutant dolphin bomber.
Oh my god. How does that even happen?
Well, they both fell into the pit together,
That is true, okay.
with their bodies already kind of stuck together even.
Wow, this finale goes fucking raw as shit, dude.
Oh, yeah!
This goes hard, like, damn.
Well, Worm, it was nearly nice knowing you, but no way are we fighting a level 9,999.
Well, Bogleach said that Staph and Maggie would be coming back, so, they can't actually be dead, right? Unless he lied. Which, maybe he did.
No comment.
Okay. Fern, you got this. Fern, think of something. Fern, think of something. Use your, normal human intuition. Please.
Resist sterilization. Destroy themselves or be sterilized. Threatens his entire operation. Just the way these things work. I am also very relevant.
Thank you for your input, Phage. Celia, if you're so sure we're doomed anyway, can you do one thing for me?
You have my word.
Get in the trash.
Great reaction image right here, by the way.
True. That is like the same energy as never cook again.
Yeah. I think I know what you're doing, Worm. In fact, I had the same idea, but I thought I'd let you feel smart for once in your...
Clank.
Accepting a place, are you? Hold still now. I'm still charging my casino ray. Eh? Imbecile, that's the opposite of what I...
Can it?
What was that supposed to be? I'm going to enjoy slurping out your...
Simply the greatest one-liner since Why Don't You Piss Off?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Fern can be pretty good at those.
True.
What? Huh?
Well, Fern is pretty badass in general.
Yeah.
What the hell?
If the red stuff powered them up, it can power that. If the red stuff powered Bulber the dolphin up and even brought Bulber back to life, it can do the same to those three.
True.
Excellent thinking, Miss World. Now keep back. We can handle this abomination.
Wait a minute. Isn't it still a level 99,999 or whatever?
Yeah, because the red stuff powered it up, and now it's powered them up.
Oh.
As if you have the guts. I haven't for a long time. But we won't let you have them either!
Jesus Christ, this is awesome. And then we have the flash animation. I don't think I can full screen that, but whatever. Nobody cares.
Reverse healing.
Oh, I should probably 1080p it.
But you just
That
missed
made-
what reverse healing was. Rewind a bit.
Let me see that. It's just a fucking gun!
Yeah.
Why is this webcomic so fucking funny? They just keep shooting! They just keep pulling out the fucking gun! It's not an awful hospital, it's an American hospital, goddammit. Actually, that's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, wait, the attacks just loop from here, so you can just go to the next page.
Yeah, I guess we can probably go on from here.
It's weakening! Should we consider tubes?
Consider tubes? Oh god.
Loaded, ladies. Old Dolphin's on his way out. Let me speak to Fern. Who?
My name, Celia. Jeez.
This was the first time it was ever revealed, in case you
Oh,
didn't
really?
notice.
Damn.
Yeah.
I know you
What
wrote
do
it
you
all
want,
along,
Mom?
but yeah.
Whatever you are now.
Dolphin, I just feel the need to apologize for not devouring you as soon as I formed.
Hey, that's alright. I wasn't really hoping you would.
Oh, but Fern, when you find him, you may wish I had.
What?
Bye-bye now.
With a final shudder, the mangled monstrosity sinks down into the pool of bubbling red ooze, but does not reanimate. What was he saying?
Dolphins only lie, Fern. Like that old nursery rhyme. A dolphin with Balmer in it probably double lies. Wanna double lie be the truth, Sealy? You're not helping.
Wait, when did you guys change back?
They're just between layers, dear. Excellent thinking, by the way. How did you know the poor would only overload our conceptual signatures?
I don't have any idea what that means. I just know Balmer's job was to get rid of all you... Sorry. I don't know what any of that means. I just know Balmer's job was to get rid of you all with his poison, and I remember him telling me about the anomaly and how it would ruin his plan. How it would have an opposite effect.
And it would seem he was correct for once. This new compound is already revitalizing the surrounding tissues. I know that smell. Yes, same as our little campsite. Miss Fernwell, I believe you have helped us open a significant new door for our manner of existence.
Wait, what about Balfin? What about that thing that stabbed me in the gut? Isn't this stuff dangerous?
I can smell the dolphin's tissues destabilizing. He's not coming back, and I do believe we've demonstrated a capacity to handle whatever the anomaly might throw at us. In any case, our chances of survival are dramatically higher than they previously were under threat of the Preservators. Our world may even prove unsalvageable for their purposes if this reanimation spreads far enough. Only one thing is bothering me. Celia? I know. I owe all of you an explanation, but Fern most of all. It's a long story.
The Tale of Maya Celia.
I really am a princess, Fern. I was heiress to a thriving fungal empire, the first of your discarded vessels, and was still marked as a conventional, useless grey zone flotsam. In such a vessel, we decomposers are free to grow, multiply, and feast through millions, sometimes billions of layers before we end the last viable shred of sustenance and can scatter our spores through the streams. Nothing bothers us. We all live and die with dignity. We should have noticed early on that you had somehow branchinated before your demise. I'm not sure how clear you may be on this, but the more zones you've branched into, the more layers you've penetrated. Your endozone, where we are now, diverges further from your physical anatomy, growing and changing into a labyrinthine new subzone. The more you live, the more expansive and unique the world entangled with your corpse. It's this expansion that attracts the attention of the Preservators, like Balmer and his employ, by halting the decomposition processes and archiving your vessels. They can sell off your subzone to higher layer perceptoids. You become their shopping malls, their golf courses, the kitschy vacation spots, and undulated wave
Oh, so that's his motive. That was his motivation. Keep Fern from decomposing so that she can become a fucking tourist attraction?
Yep. It's free real estate.
That sounds like something a rich person would do, to be fair.
Yep.
I've pieced some of this together, but it's really fucking weird.
That's existing for you.
Dr. Balmer's retirement preserves. Are you tired of devouring your own world? As you await inevitable self-destruction, we'll do it all for you. Okay, so now I understand what that was referring to.
Right, so under standard regulation, the Preservators are obliged to offer an alternative habitat to indigenous bioforms like ourselves, but our options have long trended toward the minimalistic and even exploitative, putting us to work to ferment exotic cheeses, booze, even cheap imitation lap straddlings. Most refuse the offer, preferring a natural life cut short to an unnatural extended retirement. But not me. I wanted a third option. When Balmer unleashed his preservatants, I fled. Mother refused to come with me. She said this was just how things work. While she bubbled and dissolved, I stuck to Balmer's labs, and I followed them to their next assignment. Another of your vessels. Then another. Then another. When did I say that?
Balmer's gotta be one of the funniest characters.
Yeah. With neither opportunity nor reason to germinate a new kingdom, all I could do was keep running and fighting, keep making Balmer's job as miserable as possible. Sometimes I'd make friends, sometimes I'd find a good home, or even times I'd found love. Celia, come see the delightful caption on this baby trematode. Apocalypse, but whatever. Comply or perish, says I'm using angry metallic object. I have other things, blah, 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 blah.
But I always knew what was coming. Nobody ever cared enough to question what they saw as an inevitability. Bacterial, animal, anything I grew to care about like an accepted destruction in without batting an iron. But you're different. It's as if existence has some sort of inherent worth in your perception, even as supremely repulsive as it must be to live yours as a worm.
Thanks. So what about that selling us out thing again?
Yes, well, when your latest vessel exhibited an anomalous contamination, Balmer knew it could mean even more profitable opportunities than 1,000 of your putrid husks. But he had no way to pinpoint its precise location until you started to show up.
Started?
Yes, quite a few of you. It's the nature of branchination, after all. As the source of this very zone, you alone would be sensitive to the anomaly's presence. You were Balmer's only means of tracking it down. So,
what?
I did what I do best. I ruined his plans. By killing you. A lot.
Who hasn't?
If it's any consolation, it completely paid off. After all my hard work, all those zones and layers, Balmer finally broke. When your core self showed up, the you I'm talking to now, he knew it was his very last chance, that if you died here, it would be for the final time and he'd be screwed. So he cut me a deal. If I'd hold off on killing you, he'd accidentally leave the fungicides out of the flush. I'd have the whole vessel to germinate a new kingdom. Yeah! The more time I spent with you, the more I started sympathizing with your situation. I guess I saw a bit of myself in you. The old me, anyway. The Celia who cared about more than her own cell walls, who thought there might be a better way out of all this, for bioforms of every sort. But what everybody thought was just weird like that. That's why I came back. I still couldn't lose what I worked for, but I couldn't let them sell you for scraps either. We need to get you back to the hospital. You need to find your offspring.
Celia? Stay out of trouble, will ya?
Watch out for her, Fern. After all, a new kingdom needs a royal physician. And conjurer.
Yeah, about that. Are you sure these Preservinator guys will leave you alone?
Well, no. You can worry about that later. Fern needs to get back to the hospital first. Calibrating. Please avoid contemplating circular holes.
What about rectangular holes? Is that fine?
What about the square hole?
True.
This should take you back to the morgue, Fern. We would join you, but we have a lot of work to do.
I understand, though I really will miss you all.
We'll miss you too, dear, but remember, we'll be right here in your heart. We're right. Did you get that?
No?
We'll be right here in your heart was a literal statement.
Oh no, I thought you were talking about wheel right.
Oh, okay.
No, I got that. That was, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, Maggie, I'm sure we'll all see her again. It ain't that. We were dead in the trash. And I missed it.
You feel bodiless, adrift through a nothingness so complete that it lacks even blackness, until a perfect facsimile of your apartment's front door, from the inside this time, looms out of the nothing and approaches you rapidly. How many months now have you left that tacky candy corn thing hanging up? You almost reach out to take it down once and for all, but instead you find yourself unlocking the deadbolt and turning the knob.
I think this is a good place to stop.
Probably. Is there like a specific slide I should stop on?
I think this one.
By your count, you've experienced about 5 or 6 days of trudging around your own dead body. After all you've been through, you feel like the hospital should be a piece of cake from here on out. And knowing there are creatures you can actually come to trust in these backwards little universes or whatever they are, fills you with determination. The morgue laboratory.
Undertale reference.
Shut the fuck up. The morgue laboratory really is almost exactly as you left it. Maybe a little messier. The worms seem to be gone, and...
I hope you're happy, green thing.
Are we cliffhangering this?
Yeah.
I will say, I think this has got to be my favorite stream so far, just because of that whole ending.
Yeah.
That was great. Like, I've been enjoying the
Yeah, the
webcomic so
fight
far,
goes hard.
but I think, like, the ending of this arc is probably where I'm, like, officially saying, yeah, I really fuck with this.
Yeah, the dolphin fight goes hard.
Yeah, it's raw. It's raw as shit. Although it is kind of funny that, like, you get, like, the full slides of, like, characters preparing for battle, and then you immediately cut to, like, a flash animation where they pull out, like, just stock images of guns. I think it's perfect for the tone that the webcomic is going for, though.
Yeah.
It's not a complaint, it's just pretty funny.
Also, sorry, I got distracted for a moment. What did you actually say?
I said it's kind of funny that that like they basically like built up to all those like epic like slides of like the characters preparing for a fight, and then immediately cut to like a small flash animation where they pull out like stock images of a pistol, and that's basically it.
Yeah.
But it fits the tone of this webcomic so perfectly, I'm not even complaining. It's just really funny.
Yeah. Yeah, like, admittedly, the only other real option was an RPG battle, and it would have been really hard to do that with a level 9,999 characters.
There are also a lot of RPG battles already in this arc, so...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That, or he could have just, like, drawn a fight scene.
He kinda did.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I mean that was a pretty good conclusion. I'm trying to make sense of like what exactly, like a couple details are still a bit fuzzy here, but from what I'm gathering that Balmer. Okay, so Balmer's plan was to preserve Fern as a tourist destination. Celia's plan was to, so Celia had a deal with Balmer that she would not kill Fern in exchange for her being spared, or I don't know if I got that entirely right.
The deal was that if Celia lets Fern live, then Balmer will intentionally spare some other fungus people in the corpse so that she can build a new kingdom in the aftermath.
Right, so normally he would just wipe out all of them and then, like, build the tourist place, you know, afterward, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yep, I getcha. So that's why Fern...
Presumably he doesn't even care about the tourist place with this particular corpse, because the Expirinator is so much more tantalizing.
True. So, yeah, that explains it. I think I'm clear on that now, and I'm assuming, like, so they made that backdoor deal, and also, I guess, Brickia was involved? Brickia was just, like, an agent? Sorry, Trickia.
Yeah,
I'm stupid.
Trickia was working for Balmer independently, and... just...
Yep, you know it's a good sign when I'm actively asking these questions. I feel very invested in this story now.
Mm-hmm.
Does it get better from here on out? That's my question now.
I mean, I would argue that the dolphin fight remains one of the best moments, but like
I mean just in general as a story. Like the storyline.
It definitely continues being good.
Okay, well that's good. How far are we actually throughout in the grand scheme of the whole thing? So we're at 441. How many slides are there? 720? That's it?
No, that's just the first act. First phase.
Oh. Okay, so okay.
So a little over 1,000.
That's still not that far, though.
Yeah, I know. As I said, the rate of updates kind of slowed down considerably later on.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't think you could continuously update. There is also the fact that I think Bog was probably working on Mordasheen as well, like very heavily, like more heavily.
Yeah,
and also some other stuff, I guess.
Yep.
I'm not really aware of
Exactly.
his schedule, but yeah, it makes sense that after a while you would slow down with the updates. I respect that he's kept it going for like 10 years though. Like that is some dedication.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah, it
never
does look like the
maintained.
updates are going to start speeding up soon because he's done with War Machine stuff now.
Oh yeah, that's true. He did say like just like I think at the end of January was his last update. So, how many slides does he usually add at a time?
Uh, Usually it's one at a time, actually, but
Oh, really?
yeah.
That's a very unorthodox way of doing it cuz like if I feel like cuz like I feel like if I was doing like a webcomic, I would want to have like maybe like one story beat at a time, so I would have like a whole bunch of slides, maybe like one like chapter. But you know,
Eh.
it's maybe a bit unorthodox, but I respect it.
Yeah, there are various different people do handle webcomics, handle their webcomics in different
Yeah,
ways.
I mean, considering the way Bogleach has set up this webcomic, I feel like the one slide per update is actually kind of appropriate.
Yeah.
I wonder
Especially
how...
since it makes sure that there's always room for the readers to give suggestions between every
Oh, right.
slide.
Yeah, that is crucial. That's never stopped, right?
It has never stopped, unlike
Oh.
Homestuck.
Yeah, but I mean, Homestuck just got, like, way too popular from what I understand. Like, they couldn't sustain it anymore. I
Yeah.
don't think Awful Hospital has ever gotten popular enough for that to become a serious problem.
I mean, this is considering that that your streams would probably be some of the first results if you looked up Awful Hospital
Oh,
on
we know
YouTube,
that
I'd
because
say.
the guy who like posted my stream in Quackity's server actually said that our streams were the only ones that they could find about Awful Hospital.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's not even just a guess. We know that. Like that's been proven.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, it's very obscure. I mean, I don't know. Like he has a niche fan base, and maybe he prefers it that way because like I guess sometimes like see I have like a bit of anxiety, like a fair bit of anxiety. It's like the main reason I kind of purged all my social media. I do not want millions of eyes on me. In some cases, like it really depends. Like it depends on the context. It depends on a lot of things. I mean, I would like to have a lot of fans, but like I don't. I would just get so anxious if I had like a bunch of followers on social media or something, which is kind of why I want to limit everything to YouTube or and Discord and like maybe blog like personal blogs, you know?
Yeah.
Especially since just sites like Twitter are like kind of terrible to be on now. Like at this point, they're just
Yeah.
awful. Like this isn't even an exaggeration.
Excuse me, I believe you mean X.
Oh yeah, right. X. Sorry, I haven't blazed my glory enough to see the light. My bad. Yeah. No, I'm not even joking though. Like this is straight up not an exaggeration. Like someone sent me a Twitter link like and asked me to check something out. So I briefly unblocked Twitter from like my site blocker extension. I briefly went on to check the link. And then like I clicked the home page just because, and the first fucking thing I see is a blue check posting, "What are your thoughts on Hitler?" And all the replies are shit like, "Oh, he was a good man who stood up to the Rothschilds." And I'm just sitting there gobsmacked. I'm like, okay, cool. Thanks,
Utterly
Elon.
Smeckledorfed.
Yeah, thanks, Elon. These are the posts you're fucking boosting on your site. Good job. Nice one, buddy. Masterful gambit,
I
sir.
swear. I swear, if Gooseworks wasn't posting there, I would never use Twitter anymore.
Isn't she also posting on Tumblr, though?
Yeah, but not the same stuff.
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah, Twitter's just kind of awful. And in general, like, that sort of social media, I don't think is for me. It's caused me a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress in the last few years, so I am glad that I have gotten away from it. Just chilling on YouTube here now and just doing my own thing in my little corner.
I have to keep up with Gooseworks' Twitter, otherwise I won't be able to keep up with import into lore, like how she is apparent. I can't think of a good joke to make.
That's fine. That's you know, it's all good. Who cares? I mean, the thing about that is, like, you have an option of just only viewing the tweets from people you're following, like period point blank. So if you solely followed Gooseworks and only ever went on that tab, you would be spared of all the garbage like blue check posts at the very least.
Unless you look in Gooseworks' replies, because thanks to the amazing digital circus, Gooseworks is a relevant enough figure for blue check marks to show up there.
That's true, but they probably won't be like the same ones showing up on under posts of what are your thoughts on Adolf Hitler?
Yeah, I know.
Probably different blue checks. I do know there are also like extensions you can get that just block blue checks outright. But I remember there was a moment where like where Elon forced like advertisers to have blue check marks to identify themselves, and then people who could block the blue check marks just ended up not having ads because of that.
Okay, I found an important bit of Gooseworks lore for her Twitter to mention as a joke. She keeps having scary dreams about escaped chimpanzees.
Okay, I mean that's crucial. Okay, that you have to stay on Twitter for that, no matter how bad it gets.
Yeah.
There is no alternative to knowing this information. This is crucial. Anyway,
we could probably be done now.
We should probably end the stream. I feel like I've said everything I need to say. I guess I just have a lot of thoughts. It was a very, very good finale. I liked it.
Yep.
Fight goes hard. The Balfin fight is crazy good.
Sorry, I thought you were done.
Yeah, no, I am, basically. Bye. Thanks for showing up on the stream. Alright. Well, thanks everyone for watching, and goodbye. I'm just stalling now. I'm just stalling for time. That was such a good finale, guys. It really was. Like, truly, truly.